Hi, it's Karen here, and in this video, we're going to set up an online course. Now, the software that I'm going to be using is Kajabi. You could use the same system really in any software. So if you have your course written, your outline written, that's exactly the stuff that we need before we start the course setup, of course. All right, so let's go ahead and set up the course inside Kajabi. The first thing you want to do, we're looking at my dashboard, and the first thing you want to do is go under products. And what we'll do is you'll see that you have the choice of courses, coaching, community, and podcasts. Now, all of these products are paid products, and we're going to see them again on the next screen. So we're going to choose courses. And I'm going to add new course. And you see it asks you again. This is new for 2022. They didn't used to do this, so they've made it a little less confusing for the newer user and let you know everything that available features. So if you've been in my Pocket Course Architect and you have your outline in front of you, you'll know that you already have all of this content ready to upload, and that is the idea. Now, if you're just getting started with your course, I invite you to download the Pocket Course online course GPS, which is a guide that helps you to get everything ready before you come to this stage so that you can take advantage of a 30-day trial and be able to get students in your course before you make your first payment. Now, if you arrive at the gate and all of your course or the majority of your course is written, you are going to be able to do that. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is write in the course title. So what I'm doing is morning routine for creatives. So this would be a pocket course. Full disclosure, I don't have all the content written for this, so I'm just going to use the basics and just show you the fundamentals, just to save time, because we can really, burn a lot of time doing this. Now, what I'm going to choose, since I already have the template, I already have my outline, I have my lessons, I have the lesson titles, I'm going to use the blank course. This allows me to just show you the system that I use without it getting all muddied. If you were to choose online course, they give you a template with prompts of what to have and what to say and how to outline your course. And if you've never done an online course before, or you're looking for some help and you don't have the GPS, that's a really great way to go as well. But and you would use the same system, you would do the same system. Everything is adaptable, everything is changeable. You're never set in stone. You can always add or delete everything in here. This is the most popular because of the templates that it has in it. Basically, it's not templates, it's more like swipe copy. Okay, so it tells you what to put in there. So let's just get the fundamentals out. So we're going to choose the blank course. And it wants you to upload an image right away, which that is so new. So let's upload the title. This is what it's called. You already have all of your materials ready and handy to upload. That's why this is super duper easy. We're focusing on the back end. So this is the stuff that you're putting in for your students. They don't see anything that you don't publish. So now here's your chance to put in the payment. So you can choose one-time, multi-pay, subscription, and usually for a pocket course, it's one time of a very small amount. That's why it's called a pocket course. We don't want to have a value more than $97. This one's a tiny pocket course. So what you're going to find here is basically the basics. So you'll have your outline with your modules in front of you and your lessons in front of you, and everything is written out in its full form. You have your videos and audio and everything is ready. So the first thing that I do, and I recommend that you do as well, is I fill out the modules. Okay, so it says blank module, so that's great. So I change the name to what it is. Welcome is the first module, and so that's going to be the description, and you're going to select an image. I'm just going to select the same image so that we can see when we do the front end video, you kind of see how everything works. So I'll use that. In the description, what you want is the module transformation. So this is self-explanatory. It's welcome to the course. In this module, these are the expectations throughout the curriculum. You know, just very, very simple. It doesn't have to be a lot of words there. Okay, so now I'm going to add another module now. To add content here, you're going to notice that it's a submodule, lesson, or a quiz. So to add the actual big modules, you have to go up here, and this is a new feature for 2022, adding the module in a different one. So I'm just going to put module 1. You can have your catchy title here, and then you want to have your module transformation. So what are they going to be able to do at the end of this module that they weren't able to do before? And so my module 1 is I have water. So this, in full disclosure, you know, in all honesty, this is probably a 1 module pocket course, and I would put 6 lessons under 1 module, but I want to show you how to create modules if that's you. So then I would just go ahead and repeat and get all the modules in. Now you notice this is in draft. You want to make sure that you publish it, especially in the creation phase, because then you're going to be able to see where your content is published and where it's not published. Then you will see where your blank lesson is. After you've done all of your modules, then it's time to go back to your lessons and fill in all of your lessons, one at a time. Okay, so this is the blank lesson under the welcome. So welcome. So let's call this one introduce yourself. Okay, so that's really cool. Whoops, spelling. Introduce yourself, and then depending on what you chose as your main curriculum, whether it's video or audio or both, if you have both, you can only put the video up here, and you'd have to take the audio and put it down here in the files, which is super easy, super simple. People still see it there. Okay, so for fun, let's do something. Okay, so we're going to select an image, thumbnail image, and that way we'll be able to see it on the front end. And this is lesson number 1 is welcome and introduce yourself. So you want to have some sort of image in the lesson thumbnail so that it comes up. And if you choose video, you basically just select a file and bring it in there. And then if you choose audio, same thing, you just pick a file. It's MP3. This is MP4, no more than, I believe it's 4 gigabytes. This is a pretty big file too. Or an assessment. You can choose an assessment, you'd need to create it, but this would basically be a survey asking your students where they are now so that you can assess them later. So that would actually you've already determined that if you've already wrote your course with me. You already know it's there and you already have it written, and it's just a copy and paste. Okay, so for the purposes of this, we're doing video, we're uploading a video, we're sliding it in there, and we're doing copying and pasting our awesome text. So this is the lesson in text detail. And this is why I always have my students fully write their lessons, so you don't have to worry about transcription, and you know that you're having a detailed step-by-step to whatever you're teaching in the text. And it's just copy and paste. It's already there. It saves you a lot of time when you actually do the writing of your course before the uploading. Okay, so you can also, like I said before, you can add files. This is where you're going to add your homework sheets. If you have homework sheets, you're going to also add your audio. If you're putting audio in, you can do a course just in audio. And in that case, your audio would be here if you have no video. I've done lots of courses that are just audio. They do great. It depends what you're teaching. Okay, so now we're going to save this. Once you have done that, you're going to go back and you will populate all of your lessons. So under each of the module, you'll rinse and repeat and do them all. You'll publish them all. So you have your modules in and you have your lessons in. Then you can decide later on. I recommend keeping it open for your first test group. And not worrying about drip or lock or anything like that, just getting the content out there. But as you move through, you can start to make kinds of decisions like, okay, if I wanted to publish this, I'm going to drip it out. So they'll get module 1 week, and then you can choose, okay, 7 days later, they'll get module 2. You cannot do that for individual lessons in Kajabi, just for the modules. Okay, so we're going to get rid of that. And you can also lock it. So if you lock it, this means that the student has to finish the last lesson before the new module comes forward. And this is really good if you're teaching something that requires a certificate. It makes sure that your students are consuming all of the content. And I also recommend if you're giving a certificate that you do assessments and quizzes to ensure that your students are getting the content and they're actually passing. They're not just, when it's digital, you got to make sure that you're covering, right? Okay. So that's about it for here. Of course, if you're working on something, you can always keep it in draft until you're ready to publish it. Once you publish it, your students can see it. The final thing to consider is if you want comments inside of your course. So if you want to keep people commenting or asking questions underneath your lessons, engaging there, you want to keep that visible. If you have a secondary community that you'd rather keep conversations there because it's more active, then I suggest hiding the comments in here so that your students know that they need to go to one place to get interaction with you. And if you lock them, that means that you can still see the comments that are there and have been made, but nobody else can make some comments. And you can go in your backend and delete the comments if you want things to be fresh and clean. So that's the basics of the back end. And just before we go into the front end of customization, let's just have a peek on what we did here and what's missing and what's not. So you'll see that the welcome video is here. Introduce yourself. This is the lesson. If you click on the modules, you'll see that we have these pictures in. If you didn't have them in, and that they would be blank, okay? And then you'd have to go back to the back end to add them. And you'll see that there's lots of things that need to be adjusted. And I'm going to show you all the things in the next video on how to adjust these and the things that a lot of people miss, so that when you publish your course, you are looking like the pro that you know that you are, and you don't have students saying, hey, I saw something weird in there. Is that lorem ipsum? We don't want to do that. So let's prevent that. So here we are. Now that you have everything loaded in, you're going to be ready to do the aesthetics, which is what your students will see. And I like to call that the front end of your course. And we'll do that in the next video. And by the way, if you haven't already, you go ahead and download the Pocket Course GPS, which is going to give you a real good idea on how to set up your course for success, as well as a full checklist on what to have before you invest in that course platform, which is super critical. I mean, you could get your first student in your course before your first payment goes through. So if you're shopping around for online platforms, I do love Kajabi, full disclosure. I am a partner, and I do get a kickback when you sign up through my affiliate link, but it's the same price as you would pay if you didn't. What I do offer you is a free kickoff call, and I can really have a look. We can have a conversation, and I can help you navigate your quickest path towards getting your course set up and getting it working like a well-oiled machine in the business that you want it. Because really course creating is like a kitchen renovation. You don't know how big it gets until you start, doing it and opening up the walls, right? So I'll see you in the next video. Let's get your course ready for students.